what are some of the things that you would, encourage people to look at and be able to identify like, hey, yes, this is something that I should look to address. Like, do you have any common red flags that you see across clients?
Yeah, a lot of them. Some of them are kind of funny. Like having challenges parking, having challenges parallel parking. So parking, if you go into a spot and you're constantly off at an angle instead of being parallel to the lines,
that is me. I've not figured out why I'm such a horrible parker. That's so.
That's typically.
Dom is like perfect. It's like even measures out the sides next to his car, and it's like it's got to be just perfect, and then he's happy. Dom,
Guilty.
True,
Guilty.
Okay,
yeah.
Because we're the opposite, Ox. Like him and I, we're like on the total two ends of working genius. So that's why we're such a great team. Horrible parker over here, great parker over there. Just we complement each other.
No, some of the drills we're doing together are going to help with that.
Yes, I'll be a good parker finally.
Another one is, so when you go into a parking lot, sometimes you see the concrete bumper at the front of the parking spot, and people will be parked like 6 feet away from it instead of right up to it. And so what that is a sign of is an eye misalignment issue. And if the eyes, 37% of the population, their eyes are pointed closer than what they're looking at. And that causes them to judge distances to be closer than they actually are. If the eyes are past, which that's another 9% of the population, then people artificially judge distances further than what they actually are and end up bumping into things, particularly when they back up. And to compensate for that, they leave a lot of extra room, or they tend to. It shows up with stepping on people's toes when you go to hug them. And it shows up with running into doorways and tables with your legs. And all of these, when you're young, they're not a big deal. As you get older, it's why they become the number one cause of non-automobile accidental death in the world, is because they precipitate falls. And if we can take care of them so that we're able to navigate our environments, the threat level in the brain goes down. So we're calmer in crowds, we're calmer in complex situations, calmer when weird off-angle movement is involved, and we get to live longer.
Tell me more about that last point.
About living longer?
Yeah.
Well, if you take out the number one, if you take out the number one cause of non-automobile accidental death, and it's not a factor anymore, then by default, you live longer.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's totally true. I mean, when you think about it, there's a lot of seniors who are at a fall risk. A lot of them will, fall, break a hip, and then they need surgery. And then because of their older age, that can lead to complexities in the surgery. So no, that makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, with a one analogy for your audience is going from having a compromised balance system and a system. Balance is made up of the vestibular system, or the inner ear. The eyes work with balance. We've got proprioception, or body awareness, which is how the feet are interacting with the ground and which side of the foot has the most pressure. We've got error correction, and then we've got interoception, which is internal awareness of what's going on in the body. And all of those combine together for balance. And when that's working great, it's kind of like tax-free income. When it's a little bit compromised, it's like long-term capital gains. When it's a lot compromised, it's like ordinary income in New York.
Mike, you're speaking my language here.
And you think about that from a financial perspective, your money multiplier is it's higher when you get rid of all drag. And the exact same effect applies with neurology. The more drag you have, the more it impacts everything, and the harder it is to make gains. The less drag you have, the less risk you need to take in order to get big gains.
Absolutely. So when you're doing an assessment with, a client, so you kind of went through some of the red flags, like what is like a typical, treatment, engagement or cycle, potentially look like? Like, are you meeting with this client for, 2-3 weeks? Is it 6 months? Like, can you help me fill in some of those details there?
Yeah, there's a few different ways. So I speak in front of audiences and then do breakout sessions with smaller groups, and those can be a half day to 3 days. I do 12-week one-on-one sessions, and then in some cases those stretch out to a year or more. So multiple 12-week sessions in a row, depending on what the person wants to do and where they're starting from. So somebody who was a world-class athlete who had a traumatic injury, and then both the recovery phase and not just getting back to normal, but getting back to being one of the best in the world, that's a longer process.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Do you have, any high level drills? So when we're doing these like public speaking engagements that you do you have any like high level drills that you would encourage, your audience, to engage in or, to consider doing to help improve some of these things?
Yeah, I can share one right now.
Sure.
So residual muscle tension is actually a biomarker for longevity. So if you think about it, the muscles in our body, if we just take our head off for a minute and set it to the side, all of our muscles in the body would go limp and relaxed, and they'd have full flexibility. But the brain holds residual muscle tension for stability.
Right.
And it's super common for it to hold excess tension. So tension beyond what is necessary for stability. And that tension, that excess tension, takes calories throughout the day. It causes our muscles to be more sore at the end of the day. So if we can reduce that excess tension, we end up with more fuel to use for creativity and focus and making high quality decisions. This shows up a lot is with neck tension or neck range of motion. So if you just kind of look back and forth 4 or 5 times and kind of see what your neck range of motion is, how fast your head moves. If you go ahead and try it. Just go ahead and turn your head back and forth a few times and see how fast is it, how comfortable is it, and how loud is it. Is there a lot of snap, crackle, up and gravel, or is it silent? Then grab the tops of your ears and pull up and forward 5 or 10 times, straight up 5 or 10 times, up and back 5 or 10 times, down and back 5 or 10 times, and straight down 5 or 10 times. And then try it again.
Oh, wow.
That's always one of the ones that gets me. It's pretty. I'll do it when I'm driving. Just you look a little silly in your car, but like it works. You just kind of, and then you just look to the side and you're like, oh yeah.
It's an everyday drill, or multiple times a day drill. And the reason is, so here's what's going on. We've got the brainstem
I just got one of those, Dom.
Nice.
He just got a brain.
I finally got one. Docs helped me get a brain. It's amazing.
So we've got the brainstem and the midbrain, And then there's a part of the midbrain called the superior colliculus. And what it does is it aligns the eyes and face and eventually the torso to auditory and visual threats. And with dogs, when you see a dog sleeping and there's a noise off to the side and ears go up and the head moves over, well, that's stimulating the superior colliculus. And we have the same wiring, even though our ears don't move quite as visibly as dogs. But by tugging on the ears, we stimulate the superior colliculus. We get a little more oxygen and glucose to it. We let it judge safety a little bit better, and the brain lets the neck move more freely and releases tension and frees up that energy that was being spent on muscle tension for focus and decision making and everything else.
One of the interesting things with this, like I literally am the most unflexible person on the planet. If you Ox can attest this, but I'll start out with our exercise like touching my knees with my knees like maybe like this much past my knee, and by the end of a session, like I'm mid shin and mid shin with my knees completely straight locked in. That's miraculous territory. But our goal, I'm going to touch my toes at some point. Now that is. That's going to be a true miracle moment right there.
Yeah.
So
and so for our audience members,
this stuff works.
For our audience members who did not do the drill that Mike just outlined, like I was actually very surprised. Like generally speaking, like my neck tends to be a little bit more on the stiff side, and like sometimes I'll get tension headaches. Like and doing that initial left and right head turn. Like, I feel it. And like, that was kind of like typical for me, but like, like after the drill, like there's an absolute difference. So super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. The way the numbers work out on that is it helps about 60% of people at any given moment. And so it might be this 60% now, and it might be this 60% tomorrow, but it's just about 60%. And when it doesn't work, the reason that it doesn't work is sometimes you've got full flexibility. Doing the drill isn't going to let you spin your head around. That might be kind of fun, but it's not going to happen. There could also be a legitimate threat that the brain is concerned about. Maybe there's instability in the neck and it's just not going to let you move through a bigger range of motion without resistance. And that's really common after whiplash and head injuries. And then sometimes it's just because somebody's smoked from a long day and not enough fuel. And the brain's just saying, no, you know what? I'm not playing.